Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Toya and Emmet. They are best friends and they are from Devon in England, in the UK. So let's see what they have to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, absolutely. How are you?
How's it going?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you for both.
Of course.
So before we start the game, I would like just to make sure that I'm saying both names right, okay? So it's Oxide.
Yeah, Oxide. Toya is what I'm called. Oxide is my username.
So Oxide is fine.
Oxide is fine.
And the other one is Emmet.
Emmet, yep.
Wow, yes, I got it right. Oh, think to myself, oh my God, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it right or not. So tell me, how's your day been so far?
How has it been? What have we done? We had coffee. Coffee's good. Got coffee now, in fact. Iced coffee.
We had to collect a friend from the hospital and then stay overnight. And then, so our cats were very annoyed with us when we came back because they were not expecting us to be gone for more than a couple of hours.
Oh my God.
It's all good. It's all good. She's totally fine. Just, you know, it happens sometimes, doesn't it?
So if you hear a cat yelling...
Oh my God.
We have 5 cats and the whiny one is called Sooty. So if you hear a... That's Sooty.
He's a grumpy old boy.
So you guys live together?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe you guys are best friends.
We are, yeah.
Yes.
We've lived together for 12 years.
Yeah, about 12 years now.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Oxide. So tell me, how did you guys meet up?
Oh, so basically, I was playing a game called DDR that some people may or may not know. It's a dance machine, and I used to be pretty good at it back in the day, all those years ago. And you were watching, weren't you?
Yeah, I was with a couple friends from college. They knew Toya, I obviously didn't, and yeah, so sort of watched in amazement because she's very, very good at it. I am not good at it at all.
Yeah, so then we went and got chips, sat on the green and ate chips.
Yeah.
And that was how we met.
Yeah.
Amazing. Emmet, I would like to tell me something interesting about Oxide.
Oh man, I was gonna say there's a lot of interesting things. Oh man, put me on the spot. Let me think.
Take your time.
I would say that for those who don't know, Oxide Toya is primarily a photographer. So that is like what she does. That is her day job, so to speak. And she's more or less entirely self-taught, right? Everything you know, you just like, hey, I like doing this, and you taught yourself. And so for it's got to be like 15, 20 years you've been doing this, right?
I've been shooting
Longer.
since I was a child, but I didn't really get good at it until like the last 5-ish years or so.
Longer than that.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe longer actually. I'm bad at time. Very bad at time.
And where you guys come from?
I'm from the lower end of Devon. Like,
Okay.
I'm from a place called Torbay. It's near Plymouth, but it isn't Plymouth, and don't call it Plymouth or I'll fight. We are now based in Exeter. You, however, are not from down here, are you?
Yeah, we live in the southwest of England. We currently live in a city called Exeter, in the county of Devon. I'm originally from London, but I moved to Devon when I was about 14. So
Okay.
I've lived my entire adult life in Devon. Devon is like my home.
You're in London right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm based in London. I've been in London for almost 18 years now.
Oh, that's amazing. Whereabouts in what part of London are you based in?
South London.
Oh, I'm from South London. I'm from Lewisham originally.
Oh my God, I was living in Broccoli for 10 years near Lewisham.
That's amazing. Yeah, I had friends who lived in Broccoli. I was born. I grew up in Catford, so
Yeah.
So, I grew up there and lived there until I was 14, and now I live in Devon. That's so
I have a very good friend of mine who lives in Catford, so I'm there very often. I go there at least once a week or twice a week, depending.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I know it's funny because when I was living in Broccoli, when people was asked, "Oh, where are you from? Where do you live?" I said, "I live in Broccoli." They're like, "Broccoli, broccoli like the like the vegetable."
Oh yeah,
Yes,
broccoli.
like,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, when I was a kid, I would hear my friends talk about broccoli because I had a couple friends from school who lived around there. But I never saw it written down. So I never saw it on a sign or anything. So as a kid, I was just like, oh, it's spelled the same way as broccoli. So when I saw it on a sign for the first time, I was like, it looked wrong.
I'm imagining CKLEY.
Yes.
Yes.
But I don't think I saw it written on any sign anywhere until I was at least like 12. So I was just convinced it was spelled broccoli because I'd never seen anything different.
And what do you do for a living, Emmet?
I'm also a photographer. I do like freelance social media work, photography work, and then as a side project, I work in like linguistics. I say I work in linguistics. I study it. It's very interesting to me. I make memes about it, and my goal is I would love to have a job in that field one day. But I work alongside Toya. We take photos together. She basically taught me everything I know.
Oh, that's a good French. Recognize that. Or
Very
sweet.
patient. Very patient.
I think you're the only person in the world who would call me patient.
It's because he knows you very well. That's why.
Yeah. You're very impatient in some regards, but with regards to teaching me, because you're so passionate about photography, you had the patience and the passion to like sit down with me and make sure that like.
See, I'm a linguist too. It's the language of pictures.
Yeah.
I like that.
You have your language, I have mine.
Are you both ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah,
amazing, amazing. Welcome to Willie and the Magic Box. So to my best friend, okay? Run questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Look at Emmet getting the time, have the time of his life.
Like when the camera pans to the audience, that's me.
Dizzy.
So during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
No worries, that's okay.
Let's start with Oxide. Oxide, the first question for you is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Honestly, it might be TMI, but going for my first smear test. It's important for people to do it, but I was so scared of doing it that it literally took me like 15, 18 years to go for my first one, which is super dangerous, isn't it? Because like, you know, if something, you know, had happened. But once you've got it done once, it's kind of, you know, I still hate doing it, but now I do it semi-regularly. So
tell a little bit about this test. What is about?
A smear test?
Yeah.
It's also called a pap smear. It's basically it's something that people with vaginas have to test for cancer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
it's an invasive procedure. It's horrible, but it's not as bad as my head had told me it was before I went, basically. So I think that's possibly the most difficult thing I've ever done. Yeah, physically done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal for a lot of people, especially like, I mean, no, I can't imagine a lot of people want to go to the doctors and kind of take their clothes off.
Spread your legs and have to jump in there.
But you know, it's very scary for a lot of people, but it's very important. It's a necessary evil.
It's a very feel the fear and do it anyway thing.
Yeah, I see. All right. Okay, Matt, for you now. What's the most, very similar question actually? What is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Oh man, that's let me have
a lot of life to think through.
Yeah, all of the memories just gone. Honestly, it sounds like it's very cliche and it's very cheesy, but it definitely would have been something that you said. I think it would have been obviously, being best friends, Toya and I, we do a lot of stuff together. We travel together. We go to all kinds of events together, working in the same field. But obviously, every now and again, there'll be something where I have to do it by myself, or Toya has to go by herself. And she'll say, and I think, you know, there's been several times where she said to me that, like, oh, this happened. And my first thought was, I can't wait to tell Emmet, or I'm going to tell Emmet. And like, just... And obviously, like, you know, we've been best friends, and I know this one loves me. She's put up with me long enough. But just being, like, physically told that you are the first person that I think about in, you know, when something really important happens. Because, you know, growing up, I had a lot of trouble making friends for a really long time. So I had that kind of mindset of, I'm not that important. So even though we've been best friends for well over a decade now, just sometimes being reminded that, yeah, you know, I am important. Someone does hold me to that level of value and worth in their lives. And it's just, the reminder's really nice. So I couldn't say it word for word, but it was definitely, it was something along those lines you said to me before, oh, I can't wait to tell you. And knowing that I was the first person that she trusted with that information is always, gets me right in the feels. That's all you hate.
I love it. And I think when best friends, they tell us things, they mean it. And you know, it can be something rush, something for you to improve, or at the same time as well, something that they mean it. And you know it comes from a good place. You know what I mean? So I think that, yeah, when best friends tell us a negative thing or good things or whatever they say, even if you don't agree or if we appreciate, it comes from a good place. That's what I believe as well.
Yeah, we've definitely had our disagreements on certain viewpoints. You know, in the past, we've you know, I've known T long enough that when she says something, I know it's 100% authentic. She'd have no reason to, you know, hide anything. So knowing that it's genuine is
sweet. Next question. All right, let's go with Emmet now. Let's start with you. If you could make up a school subject, what that would be?
Oh, a subject to teach in schools. Ooh,
a brand new one.
That's a really good idea. Let me think. I'm trying to think of ones that aren't like taught in higher educations. Ones that would. What would I have wanted to learn about in school? I know obviously some lessons do focus on like sort of loosely on things like culture. I would have loved to have had lessons devoted, like a subject devoted specifically to that, because there were parts of geography and parts of history and parts of my foreign language lessons that touched on it. But when I was a kid, because I went to school in South London, I went to a very ethnically and culturally diverse school. And so I had a lot of friends.
And I did not.
I had a lot of friends from all over the world, and I loved learning about little traditions and customs they had. I would love there to be, you know, something more devoted specifically to that, especially because England sometimes has a reputation for not being the most accepting country compared to a lot of mainland Europe, at least. So I think it would be really good for a lot of kids, even in less diverse parts of the country, to learn about all of the amazing people that make this planet what it is. I think that would be cool.
That would be beneficial for ignorance as well.
Yeah, it would help. It would help prevent that and lower it, because there wouldn't be a lot of people fear the unknown.
As much tolerance as there needs to be.
It would open people's minds. I believe that's what's happened for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Oxide, for you now. What is your idea of a perfect day?
Someone giving me like £1 million and me being able to pay all of my bills, have them off, you know, sort out my family. That would be a pretty good day.
Well, he did say perfect, not realistic. So.
Maybe a slightly more realistic version would be, I don't know, me being in a theme park and I've just had, you know, a nice meal. I'm on the top of a roller coaster and I know there's still money in my bank and all my bills are paid. So in reality, I think a perfect day is knowing all of my bills are paid.
Do you believe that money can bring happiness?
No, but I do believe it pays for a lot of the things that cause unhappiness, if that makes sense.
It does.
So like most of my problems could absolutely be fixed by having money. Like almost all of them, maybe even all of the issues that I have can be fixed in some way by money. Like confidence, you can get confidence coaching, it costs money. I can find a way to make money for all of it. If that's the point I want to make, I will make it. But yes, yeah.
Okay, next question, let's do it. Okay, before the next question, Oxide, tell me what's the best part of being a photographer? What's the best joy of it?
Capturing emotion. Like, as a human, I've been sort of on the outskirts of society for like most of my life, whether I've known why or not at that point in my life, whether I've known why or not, I've always been like an outsider. And being able to capture like emotion and seeing like on the screen what that emotion looks like, what it feels like, how they felt at the time, it was kind of like a way to bring me closer to humanity, if that makes sense. That might have been the gayest thing I've ever said.
Well, you are gay, so it tracks.
Emmet, and the flip side, what's the most challenging part of being a photographer, in your opinion?
Oh, well, it's not cheap. It's definitely probably the most expensive hobby that I initially took up, and now it's, you know, I'm very fortunate in that I've been able to make money, you know, in the past from it. So I think definitely like keeping up, because obviously, if in some cases, if your lens or your camera body are not functioning, sometimes it is cheaper just to get a whole new thing, but sometimes your financial situation doesn't allow for that. So sometimes you really are just having to, you really are just having to make work what you've got. And definitely, I've been in several situations where I've been shooting in like low light, so I've needed like my flash to work, and of course then the flash doesn't work and the photos are grainy
and the card corrupts,
and it's so terrifying, because you know, if someone has paid you, you want to make sure that you're giving them the best that you can. And obviously when, you know, something goes wrong, because it happens, no one's perfect, it's frustrating, because you always want to give, you know, someone work that represents you and your artistic vision, and when you can't give them your best for whatever reason, it's frustrating. But sometimes it's just completely out of your control, which drives me nuts, because I'm a type B personality with type A flavor notes, so I don't like not being able to control that. But ultimately the pros vastly outweigh the cons.
I see. Okay, Oxide, let's go with you. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
I had a few. Most of them were language-based. There was one teacher at school called Mr. Lampshire. He did French and German, more German than French. And I loved the way he could code switch, like between languages. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, because I was a pretty shitty teenager, to be honest. I was hopeless. Smart, but completely hopeless. So yeah, and then I think I liked any teacher that was nice to me. There was Mrs. Payne as well. She was great. She had that really strident voice, and so she was very Marmite. Some of the kids loved her, some hated her. I thought she was amazing. I liked most of my teachers. There weren't many teachers I didn't like. I got lucky in that regard.
Did you like school?
Students, however, I liked aspects of school. There were some aspects that could have been improved, and I didn't see any point in learning things like trigonometry and stuff if, you know, I didn't want to be an architect or anything like that. What I needed to learn, and what would have helped me now, kind of going back to what you were talking about, things like taxes and how to balance your books and budgeting. All of that would have been so useful, because I am hopeless. Well, until recently, I was pretty hopeless. It took COVID and stuff to, you know, get us back on track in that regard, because we had we had to sit at home, because obviously the stay-at-home rule. And as a photographer, we weren't allowed to shoot really. So we had nothing to do but, you know, take stock of our situation. So in that respect, it could help us.
It's interesting. It's interesting you saying that, because I had a guest on the show a while ago, and there was the same question about the school subjects, and this person said that if they could teach people like children, young age, regarding how to manage their money, because we learn make mistakes. We learn like getting debts, and we learn, because we don't know how to use properly. We get money, you think you can use this way, you buy this, you buy that, you think you're doing a good thing, and suddenly you find yourself in a situation that you don't know how to manage. Yeah. So yes, I totally understand. I think people, they would be more prepared for those situations in life, for sure. Like overall, regarding money. That's what I believe.
So many kids do not have an understanding of it, which isn't surprising because they're not taught about it. I mean, I remember as a kid, I knew money, I knew like it was a thing, and I knew that you bought things with it, but I had no understanding of where it came from, how much was the normal, the standard average amount to have, how much made someone rich and how much made someone poor. I knew my parents had jobs, but I didn't know like where the money came from and how it was all connected, and like just little things like that, which obviously now as an adult I'm like, oh, of course, like this means this and this is all connected. But as a kid, it's not going to occur to you. And then if you're in a situation where you are moving into your first place, you're moving out of your parents' home, you realize then there's a lot of stuff that just didn't occur to you. You were never taught about it, and you don't realize just how valuable that information is until you realize you're in a situation where you don't have it. And there's so much information available now online, but most people don't know where to start. And like I think having even just very, very basic lessons in school for kids would help them, would be like a good first few steps towards getting them there.
Basic politics as well, and basic human rights laws.
Yes.
Because I still don't know a whole lot about politics, apart from the bits that affect me like directly. The rest goes straight over my head. And I know that they rely on that. Without going too political, yada, yada, yada. I know they rely on that to keep themselves in. So, so they're never going to introduce, politics into schools because it would go against them. But it needs to happen.
Yes.
Revolt!
The message out there now, we are helping people. Hopefully someone's going to watch our interview and going to go like, you know what? I think that's a very good idea.
This is the catalyst.
Emmet, for you now, next question is, what's the weirdest dream you ever had?
The weirdest dream I ever had? Let's see what ones haven't erased themselves from my brain. It's not the weirdest dream I've ever had, but it is one that's springing to mind. It was like a recurring dream that I have where it was when I was a kid. I was absolutely terrified of the fire alarm that my primary school had. It wasn't like a dinging bell, or like it was a long monotonous beep, and it would carry on until the threat was done. So when you're a child and you hear that, you're like, that's the most terrifying thing that's ever occurred to me in my life. That and the massive spider that was in my bathtub one time, but that's another story. So when I was a kid, I used to have a recurring dream of running into we had like an assembly hall in the middle of our school building, and I was there with my teacher, and the whole building was in flames. And even as an 8-year-old, I think was when I first had this dream, I was thinking, this doesn't make sense. There is a fire. Why am I running towards the middle of the building, the furthest place from any exits? I should be going the other way. But my thought was like, no, I'll go in. My teacher's there, so she'll keep me safe. Because when you're a kid, you think, oh yeah, the adult knows everything. And like, she'll magically protect us from this fire. And then I woke up. And as a kid, I was so annoyed. I was like, why didn't I run? Why didn't I leave? I could have just left. That was so dangerous. But that dream not only has stuck with me 22 years in the future, but it happened a few more times. And I'm still trying to process what it means. So maybe me not knowing what it means is the weirdest thing about it. But that's what brings to mind.
It's funny because I have as well some repeated dreams that happened to me since I was a teenager. Sometimes when I have it again, I go like, oh my God, I have this nostalgia moment. I said, my God, I will never have those dreams like as a child. It came back again. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Emmet, let's go with you now.
Okay.
What has been the happiest point of your life?
Oh, cute.
The happiest or heaviest?
The happiest.
Happiest. Oh, Let me have a think. I'll be honest, I don't think I can pinpoint it to one specific thing, because I've been very fortunate in that I've had multiple moments in my life where I thought, like, this is amazing. I'm super happy. And I think because they're all different kinds of happiness, I don't know if I could rank them specifically. If I had to list one recently, because I'm transgender, I, like many folks like myself, went and had some surgery. I had some top surgery, so I had the old boobs removed so I could have a more male-presenting chest. But it's a very expensive operation, especially in the UK. So for me, the option I had was I had to try and raise money to do it. And I had to go to Poland where it was cheaper. And there was a surgeon who had worked with some friends of mine, so I trusted them. It was a few £1,000s. So obviously it was something that I really had to work to raise. And I was so fortunate that so many friends and family came together and not only donated to the GoFundMe that I set up, but they shared it. I had one anonymous donation of £1,000. I have no idea who did it, or I think I saw the name, but obviously out of respect for them, they want to be anonymous, so I will keep it that way. But I didn't know this person, and I was like, and it was just the sheer amount of kindness that these people extended to me. It really, really made me smile, and I thought, you know, these people didn't have to do this. They could have spent their time and their money elsewhere, and they chose to spend part of it on me in that moment. And I was very fortunate. I was able to fly out to Poland. Toya came with me as a chaperone. We stayed in Poland. I had the operation. Everything went well. Everything's good. It was over a year ago now that this happened. But it was just, even now, not only am I incredibly grateful that I get to be closer to the body that I, you know, identify more with, but it's a reminder that in a time where I needed, you know, some extra assistance, so many people banded together and showed love and just genuine, like, altruism. And I never ever thought that I would ever get that much, not even money wise, just that much kindness and support and understanding from people. So that was a period of over a few months. Raising money can take time, but I was extremely grateful, and it really did, like, keep me going. And even now it makes me smile if it comes up on my memories. So that was probably the most recent massive big happy I experienced.
Big happy,
yeah. Now I'm looking forward to the next big happy.
Oh my God, I even have now goosebumps you sharing the story. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm so glad that this question came up to you and you could open up and talk openly about it, because you have no idea, people watching the interview right now, how much they're going to appreciate for you to talk so beautifully and proud and very open about it. And I'm glad, I'm so happy that this question came along. And thanks so much for being so open and talk about and share this happiness in your life, because you have no idea how many people might be maybe waiting for this opportunity, or maybe they don't get to this point yet, and just see someone beautifully talking about it and so proud. I think for sure people appreciate. So thank you very much. I'm so glad that came up.
Thank you. I know not everyone is super comfortable talking about certain things relating to this, but I'm an open book. You can't get me to shut up. So I might as well, if I can lighten the load for someone else, and also provide any information that I can give, because it's still, it's still very new and foreign territory for a lot of folks. So you know, I do what I can, and I'm very grateful that I have the experience that I have.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Oxide, let's go with you now. Are you a cat or a dog person? And if you could be an animal, which one that would be and why?
Okay, definitely a cat person. I don't particularly like dogs, apart from those that like me. I've been bitten by a dog or two. Not really, like, just little nips, but enough to make me be like. However, I don't wish any harm to dogs, and dog videos and, like, seeing the bond between, like, dogs and their owners and stuff on video is always really, like, heartwarming, which is not a word I ever use. I'm just saying. But yeah, definitely more of a cat person. As for which animal would I be, I don't know. Probably a lion.
Tell me why.
Because I'm a Leo, and that's the easy answer.
You like to be in charge, yeah?
I am 100% definitely in charge. I am loyal. All of the Leo traits that are stereotypical, I hit them all. I'm not necessarily one of those follow the stars astrology type people, but when you say I'm a Leo, people tend to know what that means. So it it's an easy go-to more than a belief system for me, if you know what I mean.
It just happens to match for you.
Yeah.
So it's just very convenient.
Leo, they are very creative. They have very creativity way of expressing themselves. They are very. I have some friends. They are Leo, and they are very creative, for sure. What's your star sign, Emmet?
I'm a Pisces. I'm
My
like
mom.
Toya. Yeah, I'm like Toya in that I don't like actively like religiously personally follow astrology. I like anything with a theme. I think it's fun to look at, and there are some Piscean traits that I identify with, and you know, some that I don't. I do get annoyed that they always make us out to be big crybabies. I mean, I am, but it's not the point. I just don't like being put in that box because I'll cry about it. But I also love the color scheme, like very aquatic, lots of teals. Teal's my favorite color. So like blues and purple. So it's very like pretty to look at, like very Piscean themed things. But yeah, I think Toya is more of a Leo than I'm a Pisces, if that makes sense.
Okay, it does.
I do need to recheck it though.
Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, Oxides, tell me what's the biggest similarity between both of you?
We have similarities.
We're both LGBT plus, I suppose.
Okay.
Like I'm asexual and you're not. You're trans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm non-binary. It's all very surface stuff though. What are the similarities? We're both big personalities. We're both very opinionated. We're both smart. We both like chocolate.
Okay.
And we both like cats.
I think we because we're both neurodivergent as well. I think we both process like we see the world and process like
through
things.
Logic instead of emotion.
Yeah, I think
see.
we process a lot of things very similarly.
Oxides, people watching the interview right now, they are not familiar with the word binary and sex. How could you explain?
Non-binary. The long and short of it is, if you consider binary to be like a black or white option, non-binary is anything outside of that. So it's not boy, girl, it's anything outside of that. So I basically identify mostly as agender. Like I'm just Toya, literally. Like I don't feel male, I don't feel female.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Toya. So I'll wear what I want, I'll like what I want, I'll do what I want, essentially. And if you want to put me in your girly princess box, you're gonna be disappointed. In fact, my dream last night was someone from Grey's Anatomy wanted me to wear a dress. They were like, oh, I really like you, you know, I bought you a dress. I was like, thanks. But yeah, you can cut this bit out. It was just a dream. But it was, you know, I'm not.
I think if they offered you £1 million to wear the dress, you just stay poor. I really do.
Depends on the dress. There might be a dress that I would wear for £1 million, but they would have to pay me, and they would have to pay me first.
Like that.
Then you can use the money to buy a dress that you'd actually wear.
Yeah, I wouldn't run away with the money. I'm not that kind of person. I would wear the dress, but I'm very, very clear. Like if I don't know, someone goes, if I give you £1 million to eat this cow's testicle and dog turd, I would be like, you can keep your £1 million. I have pretty clear boundaries. So if they tell me, you know, here's £1 million to wear a dress, I would wear the dress, but I'd want the money first. Because otherwise they'd make me wear a dress and then they wouldn't give me the money.
Okay, Emmet, so tell me now, what's the biggest difference between both of you?
I think obviously because we're both, like I said, we're both neurodivergent, so we do sort of traverse a lot of our problems and our perception of the world through logic. I definitely think I'm more emotion based than Toya is. Not that she's emotionless, she's not a robot. I'm more impulsive. I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot more, so I'm usually the first to show visible signs of if I'm upset or if I'm happy or if I'm annoyed. You're more likely to see it outwardly on my face and in how I carry myself than you would with Toya.
Unless I don't like something or someone, and then my face does its own thing.
I think I'm definitely louder. So like we're different kinds of like autistic ADHD, aren't we? I'm the loud.
Yeah, you're diagnosed. I'm not.
I'm much louder and much more outward and much more very to the point with it. But also Toya is very blunt, and if Toya doesn't like something, she will say, which is what I was going back to. Toya is 100% honest. That's not to say I lie. I know I'm a people pleaser. I'm so terrified of any kind of confrontation that if I think I have to tell someone I don't like something or I'm not happy with something, I will keep myself awake at night just trying to find the nicest, most cushioned, most sweetest way that I can write it because I'm so scared of hurting feelings. Toya,
so it's like I'll say it, and then Em will soften the blow.
Yes, Toya's the brick and I'm the pillowcase. So
yeah,
that's probably.
I try to be nice. It's just sometimes the niceness goes somewhere else, and then you're just left with the. Does that make sense? I try to be nice, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
When Emmet was saying that he's very loud, the way they talk, expressive, it's very Londoner, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't think I've met a quiet Londoner in my life, let alone a quiet South Londoner. We're all just that. Yeah. Because it's such a vibrant part of the country. Yeah. I love South London. Like obviously I've spent most of my formative years by now in Devon. So Devon is very much home to me, but South London is home, but in a different sense. So when I go there, I love how vibrant, how colourful, how loud and in your face and brash it can be. Because that's part of its charm.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely taking Toya to London for the first time when we went. Obviously, I was in and out of the tube, no problems. I knew where I was going. Toya was very like, oh my God. Very overwhelmed. I had to have her on a leash, basically, like, no, we go here.
This is my best friend, but I don't like noise. Imagine my life.
Yeah, when I say she's put up with me, I can't stress that enough. I don't know why she does, but she does.
Because I love you.
Oh, very sweet. Oxide, let's go with you now. What's the best and the worst part of living in Devon?
Okay.
I know you've got answers.
Okay. The worst part is that some of the people down here are the most ignorant, racist swear words I have ever had the misfortune to come across. Some like mate. Like, for example, there are people in my family who are like my big sister is gay. I have a trans parent. And some of the people in my own family are like, how dare you? You know what I mean? They're like, I mean, they'll dead name my parents. No, not at all. And then, of course, it's just today on Facebook, someone was talking about their kids had an LGBT day at work, you know, and it was just filled with comments going, I don't think things like this should be taught in schools, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, ignorant, you're all ignorant, you're ignorant, shut up, stop being ignorant. I said it much more nicely, but sometimes it just gets so overwhelming of just the bollocks that they spew. Anyway, I really like living here.
Let's finish on a positive note, yeah?
Yeah, so what do you like about it?
It's a beautiful part of the area, and there are some lovely people down here too, and the LGBT plus scene is getting, you know, bigger. People are, as the youths are learning more about it, they're educating older people, the ones that will actually listen anyway. There's more things happening down here in terms of like prides and all of that. Not necessarily my scene, but it is important for those who need to see that. There's, you know, some of the scenery down here is amazing, like the oceans, the I'm being a photographer, see it all. We've got Dartmoor down here.
Yeah, we've got a national park if you want to go, you know, get lost in a forest for a bit. It's like a 10-minute drive that way. If you want to go and be by the ocean, it's a 20-minute drive from us.
And then you've got the city there, and you've got fields there, you've got the sea there.
It is beautiful.
I don't think I would ever want to live anywhere else. Devon, in fact, Torbay, Exeter, I think will always be my home because I love to travel, but this will always be my home.
Beautiful,
sure.
Beautiful. Emmet, for you now.
Well, you know.
Okay, I think this one we already talked about being an animal. I'm gonna change this one. I'm gonna get another one for you. Okay, next question for you is, what would your theme song be if you had your own show?
Oh man, that is a really good question. The Benny Hill theme song, but like a drum and bass remix. Honestly, I think if I would be one of those annoying people where if I'm lucky enough to ever have a show or anything based on my life, I would like, no, I'm composing the theme song for it, and I will be playing myself no matter how old or decrepit I am. I'll be 73 and I'm like, no one else can do what I do. I will be 25 in this scene. But yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I think if I couldn't list a specific song, not one that encompasses something as varied as a person's life. So I think I would be one of those people I would compose something original, and it would probably have more of a comedic element. I would want something catchy. Okay. Because I'm already having a show made about myself, so I'm already somewhat of a narcissist. So I'm gonna make people remember it.
Oh.
So I will get back to you. I'll drop a SoundCloud link to my original theme tune in the comments of this video. I'll work on something after the call.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, outside. For you now, do you have any pet peeves?
937.
Tell me something that's one of the latest one, or that it happened to you for the last few days.
Okay, one of the things that gets on my wick, like under no uncertain terms, they've recently called it cursive singing. And I cannot tell you how much I hate it. I used to call it white girl voice or white boy voice, but it's those people that are like, I just can't wait to be clean. They all sound like they're trying to hold in a... All of them. You should do your version.
Okay, you need to give me something to...
What up? Yeah, I'll pray.
I pray, ladies, like they all sound like that. It's very much been very much a trend over the last few years. Like, it's become more prevalent, and it drives Toya insane. I think I've desensitized myself to it because I've heard it so much that I don't care as much. But her hatred, the vitriol she has towards it, has been consistent.
And if they're not doing that, they're skipping half the words. like you know the song Happy, it's like why aren't you saying the words? Say the words.
Someone's going to copyright strike you just for saying that, because you know there's a cover out there that sounds exactly like that.
Yeah, they probably will.
Sorry.
It's so annoying. Like, why not just say the words? And there are some beautiful voices out there. All they have to do is say the words. Anyway, that's one of my pet peeves.
For you to understand properly.
Yeah.
I've got it in this.
Anyway, just like...
Emmet, for you now, what's your parents' deed that comforts you the most?
Okay, to comfort me, yeah. Let me have a think.
Maybe nonchalance.
Yeah, honestly, I think my parents have always been quite, they've got more chill the older we've got. And my dad particularly, my dad was the kind, I say was, he's still with us. He's very much the kind of person who, he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, not like me, or I get that from my mum, definitely. He's always just been very, all right, he was very, ask your mum, like, so, but like, even now, like, I'm, you know, my dad's very involved in my life. I go to visit him regularly. And when I came out as transgender, Anytime I was having problems in like school or anything, my dad was just always very calm and chill about it. He didn't make a big deal out of things, which when I was a kid, I was like, my dad hates me, my dad doesn't love me because he doesn't care. But it was like, looking back, I was like, no, that was the response I needed, because I had all this turbulence going on in my life at various points. And so my dad has always been he's always been the calm, he's always been very rational. He's always been very, why don't you try doing this? And, you know, giving me a new way of looking at things. So I think, you know, and my mum is also quite chill now that we're no longer toddlers and she doesn't have to worry about us every 5 seconds. And honestly, yeah, like I was very fortunate in that my family have been very accepting of my identity. But I make the joke and I say they're accepting because they don't care. Like, you know, not in a bad way, but I was like, hey, so I'm actually a guy, surprise. And they're like, okay. And like at the end. And my brothers, I have 3 brothers, and they're all basically the same. We all love each other very much, but my family is just like super chill. And I like that. I like that, you know, I don't have to feel scared of approaching them with something. I can just go, oh yeah, so this happened the other day. And that does provide a sense of comfort to me, because I did grow up with, you know, a fear of, you know, expressing myself, and that was something I carried with me into adulthood. And it's only really been in the last few years that I've gone, yeah, you know, I can trust, I can confide in them. So
yeah, you and your brothers are basically no holds barred.
Oh yeah, me and my brother
talk sex, you'll talk everything.
Yeah, me and my brothers do not care. We're just like so chill. Like nothing's like off limits, and we know that if we've got a problem, you know, we can just chat about it, and we'll give each other 100% like the truth, the honesty. But no, I like that, and I'm very fortunate that I have that level of trust with my folks.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can see then watch the interview now and smiling. Watch the interview for sure. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, Emmet, you first. If you could define 2022 in one word for you, what that word would be?
In one word?
Yeah.
A lot. It was, let me have a think. You know, as a linguist, you'd think I had a word prepared. The truth is I do not. I guess turbulent would be one. It's not been the only turbulent year, definitely, that I can recall.
Month.
Yeah. But there was, like 2022 was, you know, there were lots of highs. For example, we moved to the city in 2022, which is something we've been trying to do for years. And finally, through all of the paperwork and all of the admin, we finally got it sorted. So that was obviously a high. A company we were working for went bust a couple months later. So unfortunately, we lost our jobs, and we really struggled through the winter because we did a lot of like wedding work. So
people don't really get married in December.
Not as many. So it's harder to come by. So obviously that was a real low, and it really, really struggled. However, I definitely, you know, I'm really, really proud of us that we've managed to. I think we've definitely ridden through the worst of it, because even though obviously the industry we're in, it's always going to have, you know, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be some months that will be less work centric than others, and that's just the way it is. But that's, you know, the path we chose. But I think that now we've settled, and we're a little more prepared for it. And I can already look at it and say, I know for a fact that we'll look back at this and go, hey, do you remember that time? Because I made the joke that it was like a movie. Like, we had our protagonist moment of moving to the big city, and then almost immediately after, there's that conflict. We've lost our jobs, and of course we do that after we finally get to move. So 2002 was definitely 2002. I'm sure that was also turbulent. 2022 definitely was turbulent. However, there were, I think I will, as cheesy as it is, I'll look back on it with fondness, because I will see it as the year that we got to move to the city, the year that we got to kind of explore more like different kind of industries in which we work. So it was not the easiest of years that we've had, but it has made us stronger. So it's definitely something that will go in the autobiography when that eventually comes out.
Oxide, for you now, 2023, so far, how would you see this, let's say, first month of 2023 for you?
A bit turbulent also. 2023. So I did a marketing course. I went to the job center and they, were just like, how dare you exist? You burden on society. But I also won something in this marketing course. So, money has been nothing, zero, nothing, but we've, rebuilt like the business and we're trying a different direction. So it's been a busy month. A stressful month because we lost a cat as well. It's been a busy, sad panda. It's been a busy, stressful month, but it hasn't been all bad. Like there's been like some nice moments.
It's been balanced. It's been balanced somehow.
For January, we're supposed to be like slobbing out, eating leftover Christmas food and sleeping all the time.
Yeah.
I demand more sleep.
Our Januaries are usually a lot more boring than the one we've just had. So
but on the bright side, we've sorted tax things, all the boring admin stuff.
We got some cool projects that we're working on that we finally were like, well, we've got a bit of spare time now. We might as well actually, put things in motion. So
stressful, but productive, I think is the way to put it.
Amazing. Okay, Oxide. Next question for you is, what is one thing you can't live without?
One thing I can't live without? My phone, because it has a camera, and also Facebook, and also my family. And no, you're right, maybe coffee. Also my cats and my bestie.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool. I wasn't going to say anything, but
I don't have a single thing. My life consists of many things. So I don't think there is a one thing. Although my phone does have several things at once, so that is pretty up there on the list.
Okay, Emmet, for you now, what bad habits you wish you could stop?
How long is this video meant to be? Okay, if I had to, I have a lot of bad habits.
Everyone has, like everyone has.
One that I know Toya wishes I would stop is she hates, because we live in a one-bedroom flat and it's cheaper and energy bills are expensive, so we share a bed. It's very warm. I recommend it.
Also, best friend cuddles are the best.
Oh yeah, getting to wake up with hugs is freaking awesome. I know Toya wishes that I would stop taking my socks off in the bed. I can't help it. I go into bed and I'm like, my feet are nice and warm, and then I'll be in bed for about 10 minutes and I'll think, oh, I become really hyper aware of my feet. My feet are then too hot, so I have to take my socks off. And I do it every time. And then Toya will know. I could be as still as possible, and Toya would still sense that I've done it. And I know it drives her nuts, and I know it's a bad habit, and I'm trying so hard to kick it. A habit, one that's a bit more like conceptual, more abstract, is I overthink everything. And in a way, I'm grateful for it, because I do think that having a little, overthinking some things is fine, because sometimes you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. My problem is I will go into a 5-hour debate with myself over which foot is preferred. Is it my left or is it my right? Why does my left foot hate my right foot? What is wrong with me? And it spirals. So if I had to pick a abstract one, I would say I wish I didn't overthink as much, because it does prevent me from getting stuff done. Instead of just sucking it up and doing it, I'm very much a perfectionist, so sometimes I won't get something done until I'm happy with it being perfectly started, which is a problem. But on a much less deep and philosophical note, I wish that I didn't take my socks off in the bed while my best friend's in it with me.
Oh.
I think that's a more achievable bad habit to crack in the short term.
I don't actually mind as much. It is fun to yell at you.
I could just go to bed with bare feet.
Yes,
but I don't want to, and that's because my feet will be cold before I'm in the bed. So we have a lot to unpack.
I'm the same as well. I can't, even summertime, I need to have socks on. I don't know why. I need to have socks on.
My feet get so cold, and we've got linen floors, and we just had
lino, not linen.
I don't,
lino floors.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. Did I say linen? I wish they were linen. They'd be softer.
They'd be softer.
I don't know how cold it was in London, but obviously because we had the massive cold snap across the UK, we got it. We got it like really, really cold, and
hence
because of having linoleum floors, it's not soft like carpet. It doesn't retain any heat. So I have socks on all of the time, which is good in that I can get across the room by just sliding, so it's very convenient. But yeah, my feet are cold all the time, so I almost always have socks on. But come summer, I actually think it will be more tolerable because I won't be wearing socks as much. So if you can hold out for a few months, then we can get to training me, okay?
You're gonna lose your habits summertime. You're gonna lose the habits for sure.
Oh yeah, summer I'm gonna be like the best person, and then the minute September hits, everything will just be unlearned.
Ready for the last question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, Emmet, as you, during the interview, you shared a very personal event in your life regarding transgender, yeah? Mm-hmm. People watch the interview right now. Maybe they want to start the process, of, doing some procedures, operation, and maybe they are some things holding them back, or maybe they're not prepared. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Ooh, I think a thing that holds a lot of people back is not knowing where to start or not feeling like they have a sense of community. Obviously, I know I've been very fortunate in that I had some friends who were transgender before I even realized I myself was transgender, which isn't a luxury a lot of people have. Because for some people, it takes them a long time to realize. I didn't realize until I was in my mid-20s that I wasn't quite meant to be a girl. But it's different for everyone. I recommend those who are online a fair amount, websites like Reddit and Facebook. There are so many groups out there with people who are transgender and talk about their varying levels of experience, like some who haven't had any operations or had any like medical transition, some who want to but aren't able to. And I think for me, knowing I wasn't alone and seeing people whose experience almost mirrored mine, really, it was like okay, I'm not weird, I'm not doing it wrong, because everyone's experience is unique. And so I think in any way that you're able, if you can find any sense of community, I know it's harder in some places than others, but if you're able to hold on to that, don't be afraid to ask questions. And it's okay to not have all the answers straight away. If you're younger and you're still figuring yourself out, that is okay. There's no wrong way to be trans. There's no wrong way to transition, as long as it's like safe and it's when you're ready, if that's what you choose to do.
You can message us.
Yes.
If you have a question, message us.
And yeah, and if
one of us will know something.
And like, obviously this isn't like a social media plug, but if people do find me on social media, they are always welcome to message me. And if I don't have the specific answer they need, I will probably at this point know someone who might be able to help, because being a trans guy, there's a lot more media and information out there for trans women and trans femme people. So that was something I struggled with for a long time, just trying to find information and something that I felt represented me. So sometimes you have to be your own representation. So yeah, and I think that's another thing. If you don't find someone whose experience is exactly like yours, there's nothing wrong with you. You are just a representation that someone doesn't realize that they have yet. And that's okay. So sometimes you have to be your own representation in any way that you are comfortable being.
Amazing. Okay. Oxide, last question for you is, where do you see yourself living when you retire?
I don't see myself retiring.
You're going to retire?
Well,
let's see when you are working less. Let's say working less. Everything's manageable. You can stay in a place and kind of organize everything from there.
I probably wouldn't move from here. In an ideal world, I would then have lots of money. So I'd have, a landing pad in like New York and then one in Stockholm that we can go visit. Not like a big mansion. We don't need that much space. like, you know, like maybe like a penthouse apartment, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be big. And then we could, you know, flip between a few countries and stuff. But I don't see myself retiring somewhere. I like living here.
Yeah, I don't think you would retire if you had, like, if money was no object. I don't think
still work.
You wouldn't settle in one place. You'd have multiple, because you would always want to come back here. This is like home base, but
yeah. I'm a simple person, really. I don't need lots of stuff. I just like to see everything and take pictures of everything and drink coffee. Yeah, I guess.
All right. Emmet, last question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
My cat, by getting in the way of my screen. Living life to the fullest.
Good boy.
I think obviously everyone has different definitions of like what living life to the fullest is. Honestly, I know it's cheesy and it promises
See that face?
Yeah.
He is challenging us.
Yeah, it's not a cop-out answer. But I honestly think that Toya lives her life to the fullest in that it's 100% authentic. Yes, obviously, there are countless things that you would be like, you're like, oh, I'd like more money. Oh, I'd like to do this. But I have so much respect for the fact that this cat is just...
This is
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Come here, baby. I have always respected that, you know, if Toya wants to change something, even if she can't change it overnight, she'll do everything in her power to change it. And I think that is an example of living life to the fullest. You don't need to have all of the resources in place. Sometimes knowing what resources you would like to attain and starting on the path towards getting those resources to have the best life, that is living life to the fullest, because you're living the life to the fullest capacity at what you're currently capable of and what you currently have. And I always respected that. And I definitely, I don't think I'm living my life to the emptiest, but I know for a fact I hold back, I doubt myself, and I don't always go straight in head first like I wish I could. And
depends on what it is. Some things you do.
Oh, some things for sure. But I think I do genuinely think you live your life to the fullest. You make the most of what you've got, and you know what you don't want. You know what you want to change about your life or your current situation, and you'll work towards it. You know.
I live my life to the fullest within my means.
Yeah. You.
Or maybe slightly outside of my means.
Whether your fullest is, you know, a shot glass or it's, you know, a giant bucket, whatever cup you have, it's always
my fullest at the moment is a mug, but one day it will be a bucket. Yeah. And then I'll upgrade my bucket to a swimming pool. But I don't need any bigger than a swimming pool.
No.
I've forgotten the question.
It was for him anyway.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
okay.
I would honestly say that you do. Yeah.
All right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
Is it like a round, or is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. Oxide. I'm calling you Oxide, but all the time I should have called you Toya or Oxide.
I answer to both. It's okay.
Because I'm calling you Oxide, and he calls you Toya. I'm like, oh my god, I'm confused. Anyway. Toya, let's start with you. One word for money.
Expensive.
Come here, baby.
One word for money.
Green.
Okay. For you again, Emmet. One word for love.
Red.
Toya?
Power.
Toya, one word for family.
Expensive.
Emmet, family?
Big.
For you again, one word for sex.
That's naughty.
Okay. Toya, one word for sex.
Nope.
No? Okay. Toya, for you again, one word for politics.
This is supposed to be a quick thing. One word for politics. Confusing.
Okay. Emmet, politics.
Exhausting.
Back to you again, Emmet. Religion.
Complex.
Toya?
Belief.
Okay. For you again, fear.
Power.
Emmet?
Spiders.
For you again, friendship. One word.
Yeah. I'm sorry. For real, that's my word. That's my word. It's here. My friend is here.
Okay. Toya, for you, one word for friendship.
Emmet.
Of course. Oh my God.
I didn't say your name because I didn't know if proper nouns were allowed. Sorry for playing by the rules.
I said power twice, and one of my words is nope.
To be fair, an Emmet is also an Old English / Cornish word for ant, so
It's true.
counts.
You are, in fact, my little ant.
I am.
Oh yeah, for you again. One word for French. Sorry, for desire.
Financial.
Emmet, desire.
Lust.
For you again, regrets.
You enjoying this quick thinking? Great.
Okay. Toya, for you, regrets. One word.
Trust.
For you again, success.
Success. Money.
Emmet, for you, success.
my word was also money.
Okay, not a
Are we
problem.
allowed the same word?
Absolutely. One word for wish, Emmet.
For wish.
Yeah.
Stars.
For you, Toya, to wish.
Satisfaction.
Okay, again for you, happiness.
Money.
It was also satisfaction, but that's kind of cheaty. So happiness, stability.
Okay, for you, Emmet.
Happiness, yeah.
Okay,
Comfort.
comfort. Okay, Emmet, for you now, one word for England.
Influential.
Toya, one word for England.
Diverse.
Okay, last one for you now, Toya. One word for photographer.
Power.
Emmet, you think power as well? You think power as well or not?
No, I was just more. I think I need to discuss Toya and her need for power. We'll discuss
Well, there
that
are all
after
different kinds of power.
Yeah,
Like this is the power to capture someone's like essence.
absolutely. It was the first word that came to her mind.
My word is art. Art is power.
Art is power. So yeah, we need to discuss your power thing.
We will off camera in therapy.
Okay, so now, Emmet, tell me what's the most beautiful thing about Toya?
Like I said before, just how authentic she is. For a number of reasons, I had trust issues regarding any close relationship I formed for many, many years. And what I love about T is the fact that no matter what it's about, whether it's something as innocuous as, hey, do you think this picture looks good? Or, the meaning of life, she will give me an answer that is just unabashedly, unapologetically the truth. And I know I can always count on her for an honest opinion. And so there's a real level of trust in there that I know I trust her with my life 100%. So, yes.
Unless it's strength-based, because you are definitely stronger than me and I would drop you.
Yeah, I couldn't trust you to, move the bed over into a different part of the room. That would fall to me. But on an emotional level, I can trust Toya with more or less anything. So.
Oh yeah, define Emmet in one positive word.
Positive word.
I was gonna say I'd already planned out an answer for the same question.
But it was all negative.
No. There are many positive things about you. I think we'll go for humorous.
Okay, amazing. Right, let's.
You are hysterical.
Right, let's play now. Toya and Emmet in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Toya, you can go first. You can ask me a question now.
My question was, and I have not watched all of the previous ones, I've only seen a few. What made you start doing this series, and was it to do with meeting different people?
Right, it's interesting because 2020 when the world went upside down, and a lot of people, they found themselves, you know, in a place where they didn't know what was happening. You know, I was in a very dark place at the time because I got very anxious. You know, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know the future. And for me, I wanted to do something where I could connect with people, where I could express myself. And I went for a run in the park one day, and literally this idea just came along. And you have no idea, it was so powerful that I remember exactly the place in 2020 when I was running. You remember we could leave the house once a day to exercise? Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was leaving the house once a day, and I was running, and you have no idea, it was so powerful that I stopped for a moment and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna, you know, like mix questions and start asking people around, random people around, and see what their point of views, what their beliefs, what they, you know. And actually saying that, when I look back on my childhood, when I was a teenager, I always done this kind of interaction. I remember going to parties with friends or barbecues. There was even one point of the night I was like, who was your favorite teacher? What did you like more about your childhood? So this kind of interaction I've done already. So it's something about myself. It's about myself expressing the way I am. So people who knows me very well, like best friend, they go like, my God, Willie, when I watch the show, I feel like you are by my side because you've always been doing this kind of interaction. So yeah, it came from a place where I wasn't being myself and I wasn't feeling well. And at the same time as well, this idea came along, and I'm so grateful that, you know, I had this opportunity. And nowadays, I can tell you, if I would see someone doing this show, I would go like, oh my God, I'd love to be doing that. So it's something that I found my path, I find my way, and I could do that for 24 hours non-stop, because you have no idea how powerful it is for me to be connected with someone that I never met before. And I feel like we know each other for a long time for some reason. So it's very powerful, and it brings me a lot of good energy. So yeah, that's my answer for you.
Oh, good for you, man.
I love that. And it's always nice when you have that light bulb moment, isn't it? When you think, do you know what? That right there, that is what.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And I love that.
Emmet, for you now, question.
Okay, so this is a very, you obviously, if you're not comfortable answering, fully understand.
Oops.
Sorry, my phone tried to stop me. The question I'm about to ask you is just too powerful. It needs to be contained. So, William, tell me, with 100% honesty,
okay,
what's your favorite cheese?
My favorite cheese?
Cheese.
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 My favorite cheese. Oh my God, you got me so scared. I was like, oh my God, what do you mean by that?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Ooh, let me get myself back now. My favorite cheese, it's blue cheese. I love blue cheese.
Ooh, a man of culture. Respect that. I like that. You know,
I like red cheese, red Leicester.
Do you know, I started off absolutely hating blue cheese, but I'm slowly coming around. I have
blue cheese sauce, don't you?
Yeah, there's a blue cheese sauce. There's a place that's just opened up near us that specializes in like those Belgian fries in the cone with the different sauces. And I use the blue cheese sauce on it, and it is incredible. My personal favorite cheese is Applewood smoked cheddar, but cheese is my favorite food, in case you haven't guessed.
I can see. That's why your question.
Maybe some brie. Brie is, you got some vegetables.
I like brie as well. I like brie.
Yeah. Dip it into the brie.
It's great. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
It's not cheap, but it's a really nice like winter food. It's very comforting.
Yeah, it's quite expensive at the moment.
And also, I appreciate that you gave me an answer, because when people say, "Oh, do you know, I don't really like cheese," it doesn't give me much to bounce off of. And then I hadn't planned that far ahead. So if you were like, "Oh, do you know, I'm not really a cheese person," I would have been like, "Okay," and then I would have just let the battery die. So. So I'm glad you like a type of cheese.
I do for sure.
What is your favorite food?
Yes, I'm gonna answer very easy for you. I love paella. Oh my
Paella?
God!
Oh, paella!
Paella. It's a Spanish. It's made with rice. No, it's like paella. They say paella, like a rice.
Paella, yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm from
delicious.
Brazil. I've been raised eating rice and beans every single day.
Ah,
Gosh,
So for
yeah.
me, anything with rice, I'm up for it. Up for it. But when I tried paella for the first time, and actually there are two kinds: paella with seafood and paella with meat. Yeah. But
Oh,
I like the one they mix both together. Oh my God, that's
that sounds like heaven.
we
It's the
need
best.
to go to Brazil at some point. And we need to
Yeah.
get rich and then go
I mean,
to
I'll
Brazil.
say it's a big country, so we'll be there a
It's
while.
on our list of places to go. We haven't been there yet, so
Before you go, contact me so I can give some tips where to go, what to see,
Oh,
what
absolutely,
for sure,
to eat. Okay,
100%.
absolutely.
we might go together. You never know.
Fine, yeah, do it. You can interview some people on the street.
Yes,
Just,
and we can make some
yeah.
photography. At the same time, you can make some photography as well.
Yeah,
Imagine
we'll do some camera work for you.
Some straight up collaboration work going on here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you guys enjoy the interview?
We did.
Yeah, it was
Well,
it was
talking
really
to you,
fun.
sorry.
No,
I did. You?
No, I absolutely hated it. No, it was really fun. I didn't know what to expect. But obviously, I think with COVID and everyone's on Zoom, like I was just on a Zoom call last night for a panel I'm doing next week, so I've kind of got used to it now. But I love it, and it's it's been really nice like chatting with you and meeting you. We watched a couple of your videos together because Toya
We saw the
mentioned we were
one.
doing it.
I think it was Mr. Leather. I can't remember if he was Danish or something, but in Germany,
Norwegian?
it was something like that. He was Scandi. He was
He's from Germany, but he lives in he lives in Norway.
So it's the other way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
We got
watching
there
that.
eventually.
Yeah, Mr. Leather, because you were like getting well into it. And I liked that because you weren't being judgy, because it's so easy to, read or hear or watch something like that and just be like, ugh. But like you're seeing all of these different people with all of these walks of life, all of these like belief systems, and just taking it all in stride. And I love that.
And what I like as well about the show is I don't get to know a lot about my guests, because I like to get to know them through the interview. And when I find out something new, and I find out about you, Emmet, something personal about yourself, you're so open about that. That's what I love about the show, because people, they're expressing themselves, they're being themselves, they're comfortable about being themselves on the show. That's what I like the most, because when I find out those things about them, it doesn't need to be personal, but something that they like, something that I didn't know, or something that's for me is new. I love it, and that's what the show is about. It's about for you to express yourself, being yourself without being judged, and also connect with people around the world as well. Imagine people watching this interview right now, and they're gonna connect with you. They're gonna go like, you know what? I had this experience before, or I went through that situation before, or I never heard that before. It's about educating people. It's about connect with people. So that's what I like the most about the show. And it's just about being ourselves. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, how you've been brought up, or your beliefs, anything. It's about expressing yourself. I think that's the main key of the show. And I think I'm so fortunate to be able to connect with amazing people and let themselves express the way they are. So that's the beauty. And also, I must say, I have the few couples on the show, but I had over 800 people on the show so far. But
Wow, that's amazing.
But you are my first couple as friends. I never had like friends together. If I'm not wrong, because I had a few couples, but they were couples, yeah? They were like, but I never had like best friends, like, like know each other so well and talking about yourself. I think it was a gift. And I'm very glad we had this time. Thanks so much for taking the time and being part of the show.
Me.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
If you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
A quote I live by is just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said earlier, with feel the fear and do it anyway, it's so easy to get caught up in procrastination or self-doubt or anything like that. So I really like that quote from that very famous, the very famous clothes brand. That quote, just do it, is mine. Because, just get it done. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
Don't wait. Just do it. Just go for it.
Get on with it. Go now.
Wow, I like your power. People watch the interview. They're like, okay, I go now. I go. Emmet.
I would say it's not your outline that defines you, it's how you color yourself in. So obviously you can come from a certain background, or be raised a certain way, or have a number of experiences through your life, but it's what you do with those experiences, what you do with that knowledge, and how you go forward using what you've learned. Because you can choose to color, as I know it's cheesy, but you can color within the lines if you so wish to, but not everyone wants to. Not everyone wants to color themselves another way. And there's no wrong way to, within reason. There's no wrong way to be, I think.
Oh, it's subjective.
Yeah.
Use your own art.
Yeah.
Yes.
Color yourself in. Get it done. Do it. Color yourself in now.
Thank you so much for the interview, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you both on the show. Okay, thank you.
And thank you very much. Take
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.